Hey everybody, welcome back to Know Nothing Garage. Today we are not in the garage, we are in the spare bedroom. So I have a project that I thought of just about a week ago when I came across a problem. I have a bunch of free wood laying around, so I thought maybe I can accomplish something here. So let's dive in. I will show you what is going on. We have this lovely treadmill. We actually got this for free. Someone was just giving it away. And so I like to walk on it every once in a while. Also, this room is also my office. You can see I have my desk over there in the corner. We have stuff everywhere, so I apologize. But one thing is I'm on a lot of like Skype meetings, Zoom meetings, Teams, whatever you use. And sometimes I just have to listen. I don't have to contribute. So I wanted to be able to maybe walk on the treadmill while I work. So let me grab my work laptop here and I will show you guys. It's kind of a cool setup, but also there's some issues here. So this particular treadmill has a little divot here, and you can put a book here. You can see it has a little lip to hold. You know, it works perfectly. Well, it also happens to fit my laptop perfectly. Slides right in, which is pretty cool. The only problem is there's a headphone jack right here. So if I need to plug in my headphones, then I can't use this little slot basically. And then the other problem is, this is more a personal problem, but my Bluetooth headphones hate this laptop, or my laptop hates them. So if I try and use Bluetooth headphones, sometimes it just shuts the computer down. So that's its own issue. But either way, the headphone jack isn't the important part. The important part is that if I do end up getting an email or anything, you can see the way I'm standing here. It'd be really hard for me to type and reply to an email while I am walking. So what the plan is to create an insert in here of little legs and then a stand. So I want to create basically a stand that brings the laptop up to here and then possibly even slides out. And that way I can easily work, and the stand will basically just be like a leg here and a leg here, a little rise, and then a platform. It doesn't need to be very big, but that's what I need. So that is what I'm going to do. The problem, and this is going to be a fun learning experience for me and hopefully you guys, is how do I figure out the measurements for that? You can see this thing is sloped. So how do I make sure everything's straight? So one thing I've seen done a million times is building a template out of cardboard or whatever you need it to be built out of, but cardboard's the easiest. So basically, I'm just gonna kind of mock up what I think things should look like. I'll draw out on the cardboard and I'll just start building a template. And then once I have the rough cardboard cutout made, I can go transfer those exact pieces to wood. And that's the nicest part about it, is you don't have to take exact measurements. Once you have a template of exactly what you need, you can just trace the template onto a piece of wood. There's no need to remeasure things. So that's the hope, that this works out that well. We will find out as we go along, but let's get started. So the other issue is there's an angle here. So the camera's sitting about level, so you can see that how bad that angle is. I don't have I guess a good way to measure angles, but we can figure it out. We can cheat to figure out what angle I need this thing to be at. So let me set you guys up here and see if I can show you. I'll do it on this piece right here just so you can see it, and then the principle is exactly what I'm going to do in the tray. Actually, the angles are probably the same, but what I'm going to end up doing is I have this weird ruler. You could make one, but basically it's just a ruler on a pivot, right? So what I'm going to do is set this ruler on this angle, and so you can see it matches, and then I'm going to put this one up until I hit level. So that is about exactly level. I'm going to hold this angle, and now I know this is my angle. So if this is my piece of wood right here, I'm now going to take this angle and trace this line, and I now know exactly what I need to do. So that is what I'm about to do. I'll do it in the tray just so it's, you know, defined a little better, but that is basically how this works. Okay, so here is the piece that I came up with. And basically what this is going to do is this tray is going to slip right in here and slip under this little piece of glass. I know it's not perfect right now. And then that should be perfectly straight up and down, which it looks like it is. Obviously, when I actually build it, it'll be slightly different. But so basically, I'll have one of these made out of wood. It'll be probably 2 inches wide. I'll have another one here, 2 inches wide. And then I'll have my platform up here. So the other thing I need to figure out is how tall I want it. The nice thing is I can grab my laptop and I can see where it sits. Yeah, that's definitely too tall. So I will probably drop that. You can see I probably want it 2 inches lower. I'll probably take 2 inches off of that because I also have to account for the thickness of the tabletop. So we will take 2 inches off. Shrink, 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 shrink. And that is all she wrote. Okay, so you guys can see this is my template. I went ahead and made a second version just to make it easier. Here's the original. You can see I just traced it out again. I cleaned up some of the measurements, and then I also made sure it included the top portion. So now this is the piece of wood I'm planning on making most of this out of. I got some of these scraps for free. It's actually a really nice piece of wood. They are, I think, they're about 5.5 inches deep, but basically all I need to do is transfer the template. Okay, hopefully that shows up a lot better. But these are now my two pieces, so two halves. One half here, one there. Once they get cut out, this one will get flipped over and sit right on top. Now you guys know that I have my Craig jig, which allows you to cut pocket holes, so I can drill one hole here and one hole here, and then just screw these pieces together really easy. So that, I believe, is what is going to work best. So what I can do, now that I have this correct, I can actually just cut this in half, and I can trace out one of my pieces and trace out my other piece and be just fine. So that's probably what I'm going to end up doing, and we shall see how it goes. Okay, so I got the smaller pieces cut out. I actually made a mistake, and I was looking at the wrong template. So I started to cut these in half and cut the back side on accident, so it technically would cut over here. So this piece is gone, so I cut out a new one. That's okay. I'll just put an X on that so I know that that's not the one I need to use. I just need this side. So now I need to cut these out. Can't really do that with a chop saw, and we have interesting angles, so I'm just going to use the jigsaw. A pro tip, or maybe not, amateur tip, when cutting these things out, it's really nice because you just have to hold it. I have this piece of plywood under here that I can drill into. So I use it, I throw a couple screws in and I use it as a stop block. That way I don't run my jigsaw into the table, but I can kind of cut out this piece. I can flip it around and use this one and cut out this piece. So it just makes it a lot easier to have something to push against, so you're not fighting it with your hand the whole time. You can use your hand more as a stabilizer than a like holder, I guess. So that should just hopefully help. So now I'm going to sit here and cut out all of these pieces. All right, guys, so you can see here are my pieces. You got those two and you got these two. So overall went smooth, just had to use the jigsaw on most of it. There's still a lot of these lines that I just need to clean up so they don't look so rough cut, but I can do that with the sander, so that shouldn't be too bad. So you guys can see that I have this frame together. This is glued and screwed together. It's basically ready to go. I just need to put some stain on it, so I will do that later. I think it came out pretty good. I should test fit it to make sure that these fit, so I can go do that really fast. But other than that, went together. So for the tabletop, I was actually just gonna use this particle board, and then you guys can see from the time lapse, I was like, why not? So I had this old, I don't even know what this was, fence board, something gross. I decided to screw it together, make a top. Nothing fancy. I basically just glued it and then put in more pocket holes and pocket screws. So after that, I'm gonna clean up the edges because they're pretty rough, sand the whole thing. Hopefully it'll look 100% different once I'm done sanding it. And then after that, it should be ready to put the brackets on. So pretty excited about that. This is how simple, this is just, like I said, I made this kind of on a whim, glued it, pocket screwed, seems to be holding together. It'll basically sit there, and then this whole thing will tilt forward. So I basically just now have to stain it. So I am going to throw a little bit of stain on here. I think that'll probably look nice, so I will do that. We'll see if this thing will fit up, and then yeah, after that, I actually just got these in the mail. These are the drawer slides, and you can see they slide pretty nicely. So full extension, if I take this thing off, if I mount this here, you can see it'll come out basically the exact length that the thing is again. So these are 10-inch slides and they have 20 inches of travel. So that is the plan. Don't know if it'll work, but we will find out. Alright, so I just got these stained and then coated. I wanted to show you guys really fast. First of all, you guys saw what these looked like before. They were very rough. Stain an amazing way to make bad wood look good. All this wood is sturdy. It's actually nice. This stuff is pretty high quality. I don't know what type it is, but it's pretty dense. It's nice wood, but it was mismatched and everything. Now it's all the same color, which is fantastic. The joys of stain. This is just what I used. This is Rust-Oleum wood stain in dark walnut. I've used this for a bunch of projects before. Actually, our dining room table is this color. And then I just always coat it with this polyurethane, just like a satin polyurethane. It just kind of helps keep it protected. And I always just throw a quick coat of that on and it seems to be fine. So I'm actually just gonna let these dry overnight. All right, it's the next morning. It's pretty early. Just got baby down to sleep. So I figured I would try and get this finished so I don't have to worry about the rest of the day. So basically all you're gonna see me do in the time lapse is this skinnier part. That's what I'm going to be mounting here. And so the most important part to get these slides to work is to make sure they're both like parallel with each other. So I'm basically going to attach the back screw of each one, and then I'm going to measure the distance between the two, measure the distance between the fronts, and then put my second screw in to make sure that they're perfectly parallel. If they're not, if they're slightly off from each other, then the drawers aren't going to want to, the slides aren't going to want to work properly. So you'll see me do that in the time lapse, but that's all I'm doing. It's just a lot of measuring and making sure that these truly are parallel with each other. So let's do that. All right, guys. So here it is. It looks like it works. I need to do some touch-up stain. It looks like this end grain absorbed a little more, but you guys can see it pressure fits on, but then after that, okay, this is hard to do with one hand. Here, let me sit you guys down. So it kind of clicks into place, and then after you pop it forward, and then it slides all the way out, and then it slides back. So when this is on the treadmill, it'll be level like this. So it'll slide in, come out, and slide back. So I do want to go test fit it. I should probably do that first, because the only thing that's not going to fit is if I didn't shave these down enough. So if that's the case, I'll have to sand these and then I'll restain whatever needs to be done. But let's go upstairs and see how it works. All right, everyone. Well, here is the final product. It's actually been a couple days. I was editing this and realized I lost some footage, so I'm shooting this again, but hasn't changed. Here is the final product that we have. As you guys can see, here it is, and it pops out. I love it. It works very well. One thing that I didn't really address earlier was how I secured it. I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to do that, but basically, if you guys can see, I have these L brackets I made, and I literally just use self-tapping screws. This tray doesn't have anything under it. It's hollow plastic. We don't even use it. So I was fine with putting self-tapping screws in it just to help hold this down really secure. I also even have these paracord wrapped around the brace on the back, just as kind of like a backup. It was my first thought and it didn't work well, but you guys can see, here's my laptop. If I was walking on the treadmill normally, this is where I'd be fully extended. I can reach, but if I had to lean forward, it's a little uncomfortable. That's where bringing this all the way forward, it works perfectly. It's secure. Actually, I've used this now since I'm filming this later. I've used this a couple times. It works awesome. It really does. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it and liked the project, please like and subscribe. I'm always doing weird things like this. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Bye.